What's my name?
Ig-schwetzel.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt to the back, feeling like I'm gonna.
How could I ever stop? I fell in love with the process, racing to the millions, but this shit is not a contest. Watching people game for free, but can't get lost in the concept. Fucking all these bitches, but I make them take a contraceptive. I'm the shit, bitches, Schwetzel making hits off of the rib. Trust me, homeboy, you was not on my tip. I'm bringing a whip and I'm crushing they ships. I'm up in this bitch and I'm giving her kids. I'm in a container, but don't need a lid. You fucking with me, you must not wanna live. I kill me a beat and just take me a trip. I'm keeping a 40, I know how it gets. You fucking with me, you get I ain't north side short, making plays like I'm bored. I ain't sad, I ain't bored. Bitches, Michael, bring it glory. I'm a warrior, cause I can see that life is getting gorier. Had a little bitch that tell me I was trying to Moria. Even when it's dark, I'm shine while walking down the corridor. Females and their feelings, they get mad when I get bored of her. Steady asking why the fuck you ain't got hold of purpose for a mold. Broke the mold, man, your Schwetzel out that cage. Life is like a picture, I'ma sit on top of the frame. On my soul, I can't never be contained. Go for gold, go for pro. Trust me, boy, we not the same. I'm keeping a flame, and Schwetzel untamed. You better think twice if you swerve my lane. I'm killing the beat, and I'm getting it made. I'm bringing the death, and I'm bringing the change. Schwetzel got rough them streets and them veins. I cannot speak on them thoughts in my brain. How you get mad, cause I got no change. Schwetzel get bags, I can push cocaine. So I'm on the top like a rock 2 days. I'm like my biz like a no real case. You get fucked once and getting replaced. All you can see is the strength in my face. Not even a glimpse of the loss and the pain. Had to shoot first, I'm not laying in wait. Schwetzel would die before catching the case. Making my mark and it can't be erased. Well. Welcome back again, folks. We are here again with your boy Schwetzel. Back for another episode of the Communication Station. You know, you already know. If you know, you know. You know what I mean? So, we back on this Communication Station shit. Today, I titled the video The Expectation Station, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about expectations in general, and we're going to be talking about a person who has expectations out of certain shit. Hold on, let me close out this fucking video game tab because it's making like a windstorm sound that I'm not fucking with right now that I don't necessarily want to hear for this video. But yeah, anyways, we're talking about expectations today and why a person would develop expectations and if expectations are actually the right thing to do. Right? So, for a person to develop expectations out of certain other individuals and set up expectations for how this person is supposed to interact with them, how this person is supposed to be, how this person is supposed to act, what type of characteristics and traits they're supposed to show at the moment. Understand, if you are a person who is extremely developing expectations out of the individuals in your environment and expecting them to be some type of way, you are already in some formulation of an ego or in some formulation of an entitlement concept. So you are in a situation where you feel like you deserve more than you might necessarily deserve at the moment. Because if you'll notice too, even if you are a person who has expectations out of people at the moment, just pay attention. You don't ever actually get those expectations. It's always a situation where you are expecting things out of individuals who are not capable to give you what you're expecting out of them. So what you will notice is you are gonna perpetually be in a state where you're never getting the expectations that you are expecting out of individuals. It's always a situation where a person is not able to give you that. So then you have to be sitting back on your own time, like, what the you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? And then eventually separate from this person because you feeling like you're not necessarily getting what you deserve at the moment. When at the end of the day, you yourself are the reason why you're not getting what you feel like you might deserve at the moment, due to you having these expectations, due to you feeling entitled to the point where you feel like people are supposed to be a certain way towards you. Right? So this right here is proof within itself that show you that having expectations towards people is a waste of your time, and necessarily there is no right or wrong, but it's the wrong thing to do at the end of the day. The best way for you to have more ease of access in your life and get along better with yourself and shit like that, and even with other people, is to have no expectations or expect people just to be ain't shit at the end of the day anyways. That is what is gonna help you get along much better, because like I said, you are you are in some formulation of an ego or in an entitlement concept when you are expecting things from other individuals outside of yourself anyways. Either that or you're in a concept of like feeling like you need to be saved at the moment or something. Because if you're a person who is like, you don't have shit, but you expect a person to always be spending their money on you, taking care of you in some type of way or some shit like that, you know, and you're just expecting people to be this way towards you by default without you having to do anything, just by you fucking showing your ass outside of your bedroom, or you know what I'm saying, outside of your house or some shit. Like people just got to bend they knee to you automatically. You know what I'm saying? So it's either some type of ego, some type of entitlement, or you feel like you need to be saved at the moment subconsciously. So you're expecting people to take care of you in certain type of ways that they don't necessarily have to do. So at the end of the day, like I said, it turns out that having expectations actually end up being the wrong thing to do because of these said things. It's unhealthy. It's not good for your individuality. It's not good for your spirituality. It's not good for you to be having expectations out of individuals and expecting them to be a certain way. But this is the thing, especially if you're a person who is coming across my channel from being a part of some type of spiritual conscious community type of concept. Whenever we're talking about spirituality, aside from what real spirituality is, we're talking about the rhetoric of spirituality that gets kicked commonly throughout the world and shit like that nowadays, right? So if you're coming from one of these concepts, you might still be lost in the terminology of what people associate with being healthy and with being spiritual, right? A lot of spiritual people will develop an ego in the same type of way, just thinking that they view the world in a more sufficient manner than other individuals in the environment, or by getting into this concept of this self-worth concept, and being entirely fixated on your own self-worth to the point that you misconstrued it and take it outside of yourself and place it on other people as making it, as far as making it their problem or their responsibility for to keep up with these expectations that they might not necessarily even fucking know about at the end of the day whenever you don't come outside your mouth and say something, right? You get what I'm saying? So don't utilize expectations. It's a lost concept and it's a waste of time. It's an ego. It's a waste of time for you. There's nothing that you're gonna get out of it except for more disappointment and more letdowns, because you're gonna expect people in your environment, especially if you're on a tip that is less common. You get what I'm saying? If you're onto something that is less common and it's not like a thing that a lot of people are into and shit like that, if you're on that type of time, your substance is still going to be a bit more powerful, so it's going to make sense to you in some type of way, right? And like I said, it's going to be more powerful. So what I see that be going on is a lot of people will get into their self-worth mode, build up their self-worth and their internal confidence and shit like that, and then bring it into the world and use it as like a fucking weapon against the world as an ego. You see what I'm saying? So by you being in a position where the shit that you're into at the moment is a little bit less common than what a regular person is into, you get what I'm saying? It's gonna be a little bit more powerful. It's gonna be a little bit more stronger essence. It's gonna be something that is able to gain attention because it's rare. It's a little bit more unique, right? So you're going to try to involve yourself with the regular common people because you're still not understanding the totality concept of what everything should be at the moment. Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be acting out in these type of ways, right? So you try to involve yourself with the common people with this substance that you have now that is not so common, and you start to develop expectations out of the people that are in your regular day-to-day life. um, and they might not even be, 9 times out of 10 they aren't even capable of reaching those expectations that you're setting as a boundary or a line in the sand. So that's what you need to understand. That's why your expectations are never met. It's because you're not even if having expectations out of people was the right thing to do, you're not even utilizing the tool in the right aspect, and you're not even involving yourself with people who are even capable of reaching those expectations that you put out for them in the first place, right? So you're expecting riches out of a peasant or some shit, or you're expecting gold out of a fucking piece of iron ore or some shit, or you're expecting, you know what I'm saying, like shit like that. And that's just examples, like that's kind of like some wordplay shit, but y'all get what I'm saying. So don't have no expectations. Don't have no expectations out of people at all. Don't have any expectations out of any type of situation. Don't develop expectations, because this is what y'all need to understand too. Even and what, like I said, expectations is really the wrong thing to do anyway. But even if you are utilizing the tool in a more sufficient manner, as far as involving yourself with people who actually could reach those expectations, what you need to understand is when you start dealing with people who have really actually have some life experience and are actually in a more similar boat that you are in, you need to understand people who are like that, when you have expectations out of them, they're not going to respect you from that. And 9 times out of 10, they're actually going to start to distance themselves from you the moment that you start to have expectations out of them and start trying to like play God and predict how their character should move and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that right there just prove to you that having expectations at all is not the right thing to do. It's a waste of time. You're going to be always having expectations and not having anyone be able to meet those expectations. You know what I'm saying? And this plays out in a lot of type of ways. Like people will have expectations out of a partner in a relationship and shit like that. And even if you come around a person and you're a person who has these expectations within a relationship, even if you like this person very much, right? Like even if you deeply care about this person, you really like them, you really just want to be with them and shit like that, right? Sorry, excuse me, I'm fucking getting some hiccups for some reason. But even if you really like this person and you really want to be with them and make things work with this person, and like you see a future with this person and everything, right? If you're the person who has expectations, you would damn near be willing to separate from this individual, even though you really like them, and even though you actually see a future with this person, you would be willing to actually separate from this individual just due to the expectations that you have, and this person not being able to fulfill each and every one of those expectations to the percentage level and the degree at which you feel like you deserve that, whatever it is, attention, whatever expectation that you have set forth, right? So you'd be willing to end the relationship with this person just because they aren't able to fulfill each and every one of these expectations that you have out of a person who is so-called going to be your partner at the end of the day, right? So that's even more proof to show you that expectations is a waste of time, right? So this is how you actually will utilize expectations in the right type of aspect. But it's more so transmuting the expectation energy, turning it into having no expectations out of anything or anyone, and also at the same time having the understanding that nobody has to do anything for you. That way you lose the ego and the entitlement of feeling like you are a certain way, or you're a certain percentage level of an individual, and you're a certain percentage level of a rare person in on earth and shit like that. It'll help you lose that entitlement concept, because at the end of the day, you know that don't nobody have to do shit for you, right? So when somebody does do something for you, then you're even more grateful for it, you're even more appreciative for it, and it help you attract more situations like that, where you can actually be in a situation where a person will be able to do things for you, and you can be around better people and shit like that. Whenever we get into real self-worth and real shadow work and shit like that, this is one of the aspects in which this can play out, and you can actually start to see things be in a more sufficient manner. Because whenever we're having discipline with our self-worth, and we're having discipline within our own power and shit like that, we're going to get to the stage, like I said, where we're not expecting shit out of anyone, and we're not entitled thinking that anyone has to do anything for us, or thinking that the world owe us some shit in some type of way. Right now with our discipline and our power and our self-worth, now we're at a stage where we don't have those expectations, but at the end of the day, what we're willing to accept from individuals has changed, right? So regardless if a person is able to keep up with whatever you would have put in that position of having an expectation out of them at one point or another, right? Now you're in a space where you don't expect shit out of them, but at the end of the day, you're not willing to accept the same things from these individuals that you maybe were previously or in the past, right? So now it just is what it is. People, you know that people are going to do whatever they do. People are going to be themselves. And they're gonna correlate more with whatever they're into, aside from whatever you're into, and they don't necessarily have to keep up with your expectations. So now you have shifted it. You've put yourself in a position where you don't give a fuck about the expectation. You don't care about what they should or shouldn't do, right? You just have firm boundaries now. So now it has shifted what you're willing to accept from these individuals. So whenever you change what you're willing to accept, this will also get you in a point where, like, if you're a person who is extremely like self-sacrificing, or a person who is just very blinded by family matters, or terminologies like love and care and appreciation towards certain individuals, or just because you have developed a relationship with a person for a long period of time, like, oh, we've been best friends since third grade or whatever and shit like that. Now once you get into this perspective, it'll actually give you a truer perspective to be able to view these relationships, and not being in some formulation of rose-colored glasses just based upon how long you've been in a relationship with this person. Now you know what you're willing to accept from individuals. You're not expecting anything from them. So now this will put you in a position where you actually know what relationships you need to continue on and continue carrying on with, and what relationships you actually need to cut off and completely separate from at the end of the day. So that's how you actually get to a point where expectations can actually work for you. Because like I said, don't have expectations out of situations. Don't have expectations out of the people within those situations. Just expect certain things from yourself, right? That way, whenever you expect certain things from yourself and you actually follow through on those things, you can gain more trust within yourself. You can gain more respect for yourself and shit like that. And it'll help you move more sufficiently. You'll actually take action on the shit that you know that you're supposed to do at the end of the day. More better. It won't be a situation where you have anything to procrastinate about. Why? Because you trust yourself now. You respect yourself. You know that you're capable and shit like that. So when you're interacting with the environment, now you don't care about the expectations. You just expect certain shit from yourself. Like, you expect yourself to speak up for yourself whenever certain things happen. You expect yourself not to allow yourself to get treated a certain way. You expect yourself not to allow people to do certain things around you or speak on certain things around you and shit like that, you know. And obviously you can't control what everyone says, and sometimes people just want to be assholes. And even if you say like, hey, I don't fuck with that, like don't do that around me or some shit, like it's still going to be people who are going to purposely try to push your buttons and push your boundaries and shit like that. Just know at the end of the day, you can always walk away from these situations. You don't have to involve yourselves with these certain type of people. You don't have to interact with them. And just because someone is talking on a certain talking point or speaking on certain things or expressing themselves in a certain manner around you doesn't necessarily mean that you need to feel some type of way about it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's the end of this one, boys. Thank y'all very much. Donation link in the bio. Y'all can hit me on my Cash App if you want to donate and support the channel. We also do consultations, one-on-one consultations for your whatever you're going through at the moment. We can help you gain a little bit of insight and shit like that, and a little bit more awareness and perspective to whatever it is that you're going through at the moment. And we also do personal tarot card readings aside from the tarot card readings that I do on my channel. You know what I'm saying? So we got all that going on. My IG link is in the bio. If you want tarot or a consultation, make sure that you DM me at Schwetzel on my IG. That way I can be aware of it. And that way I can tell you how much I'm going to be charging you depending upon what you're asking for and how long it's going to take me to complete it. You know what I'm saying? But thank y'all very much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.